Hi everyone, I'm Michael Schneider.
And I'm Emily Longeretta, and welcome to Variety's Awards Circuit, where we're looking at some of the key television categories in this year's primetime Emmy race. This time we're looking at the performers in the limited series, anthology, and TV movie field. Beef stars Steven Yeun and Ali Wong dominated last year at the Emmys, SAG, and Golden Globes. So let's look at who was on top for this.
Yeah, they're no longer eligible. They sweeped it, but now
Yes,
we've got some new contenders. So let's kick things off with actress and a name that we're familiar with, Jodie Foster, who was fantastic in True Detective, Night Country. But there's some heavy hitters in this category. We got Brie Larson in Lessons in Chemistry over at Apple TV+. From Fargo, Juno Temple, who managed to really kick some ass on that one. Griselda, as personified by Sofia Vergara, doing something a little different from her usual Modern Family history. Kate Winslet, another superstar in The Regime. Superstars continuing with Nicole Kidman in Expats, Julianne Moore in Mary and George. And I'm going to throw in even Annette Bening in Apples Never Fall, which is a Peacock show that I don't know many people saw, but she's Annette Bening.
I know. I mean, the list of names you just listed off, so many icons after icon, and I think a lot of these people really couldn't be nominated. I mean, Nicole Kidman, Julianne Moore, Jodie Foster, all in one category. It seems so wild to me, but what an embarrassment of riches on TV right now.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I put Jodie Foster at the top of that list only because she's been so amazing. She was just in Oscar nominated last year for Naiad, and so she's definitely having this new renaissance. I don't think she ever went away, but she's so great in True Detective, and so happy to have that franchise back and to have someone of her stature starring in that.
100%. And I think it's also really exciting to see Sofia Vergara as Griselda, because it is such a transformation physically, but also from anything we've seen her do before. I mean, we're so used to seeing her in a comedic role that this is so different. All right, and now let's move on to the actors. Andrew Scott, of course, Ripley, did incredible. Richard Gadd from Baby Reindeer, one of the most talked about shows of the year. Matt Bomer from Fellow Travelers, John Hamm from Fargo, Tom Hollander from Feud, Capote versus the Swans, Tony Shalhoub, the beloved Tony Shalhoub.
Emmy voters just automatically click Tony Shalhoub's name.
It's an automatic from Mr. Monk's Last Case. And David Oyelowo from Lawman Bass Reeves, which everyone really seemed to like. So I think this list is filled with talent. I'm going to also just throw it out there that Tony Shalhoub, give him all the Emmys.
Well, because he does get all the Emmys. But, again, I do think that our front runner could be Richard Gadd, just because it's, even though no one had heard of him up until a month or two ago, everyone is talking about Baby Reindeer, and people are obsessed with the storytelling and the fact that this has had, it was a stage play that he turned into a mini series. He stars in it. He's dealing with his own personal traumas. I think people are really fascinated by that. Now, Andrew Scott is on the cover of Variety, so I automatically want to give it to him because of that. So there's a good shot that he's in this mix as well.
Of course, but also John Hamm is in every single show on TV. So for Fargo, he was so incredible. Playing not such a nice guy, but so likable because he's John Hamm. Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the supporting categories now. So actress, last year Niecy Nash-Betts won for the Jeffrey Dahmer story, Monster. Monster is returning as a franchise.
That's right.
But obviously not with Jeffrey Dahmer. So we're moving on to Jennifer Jason Leigh in Fargo, who was fantastic in that, and so great to see her. The True Detective Night Country co-stars, Kaylee Reese, who went toe-to-toe with Jodie Foster and really pulled it off. Fiona Shaw, who, of course, I loved in Killing Eve. This great British actor who is great to see in all these U.S. shows as well.
For sure.
And then you've got the Baby Reindeer co-stars. So Jessica Gunning, who really personified that character, and you sort of forget that this is an actor, this is an actress playing this role. Nava Mao as well, another difficult role, who just did a fantastic job. And then inside Lessons in Chemistry, Asia Naomi King was great. Sandra Oh in The Sympathizer. Sandra Oh is Sandra Oh. Again, Killing Eve, who knows? We may have a reunion if she goes up against Fiona Shaw, which would be fun. And then Lily Gladstone, who's having the year of all years.
Yes, she is.
And in Under the Bridge, I could see very well her getting a nomination for that.
Definitely, and that's such an important role, so I think it's really important to kind of show that. We just did a feature with her in Variety talking about the importance of showing these women and how difficult it was for her to play a cop and why she kind of took it on. And it's just a very important story to be told. And of course, she didn't win the Oscar, but she was in the conversation so much at the Oscars, and she just remains to be in the conversation because she's so talented. Now, moving on to supporting actor, last year's winner was Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird, of course not eligible. This year we have Robert Downey Jr. for The Sympathizer. Robert Downey Jr.
Well, and he plays like 5 different roles in this, so maybe he'll be nominated 5 times. Maybe he'll be the only person nominated in this category.
Imagine, that would be quite a twist. And then we of course have Lewis Pullman for Lessons in Chemistry, Jonathan Bailey for Fellow Travelers, True Detective, Night Country people, John Hawkes and Finn Bennett, both very, very impressive. And then in Fargo, 2 really, really great actors, Joe Keery and Sam Sproul, who played very, very wild characters.
Very, very different roles.
Yes.
But Joe Keery, again, coming off of Stranger Things and doing this very similar, kind of in a way, because it's still darkly comedic in a way that Stranger Things is as well, but different at the same time.
I would say this character isn't able to laugh at himself at all,
No.
whereas Steve Harrington is able to laugh at himself.
Exactly.
But it just shows how really great Joe Keery is as an actor.
And how traumatic that character is also in having a father in John Hamm, who is the most evil I've ever seen John Hamm in anything.
It's a tough thing to watch.
So again, a great group, and luckily with these supporting categories, they normally have as many as 8 nominees, which allows for a number of these names to show up.
Definitely, and Jonathan Bailey, we have to say, has had some luck already with Fellow Travelers in the award space, so I think that there's a good chance that he will be up there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's it for now. Join us again next time for another edition of Awards Circuit.
Thanks for watching.